What's up, everybody? I am Sam from Single. I'm here today with Griffin Schwab from Red Light Management. Super excited to have this chat. We've worked with Griffin on a number of really cool projects over the years, helping artists on Shopify engage their fans and do a lot of cool stuff with content, fan clubs, and things like that. Before we get into it, maybe Griffin, if you just want to share a couple words, introduce yourself, and we could start unpacking.
Yeah. So my name is Griffin Schwab. I'm based in New York City now. I actually moved from Nashville, New York City in October.
Cool.
Been at Red Light Management for a couple of years. I do both management for some clients and then digital for others. I originally was hired on the digital team, and then, how Red Light works is you can kind of do everything. So I do digital for some clients, and I do day-to-day management for others, and I do full management for others. So
Cool.
as far as Future Birds, I do mainly digital and day-to-day for them.
Cool. Yeah, didn't realize you're in New York. I am as well, so we'll have to grab
Oh,
coffee.
great. Well,
But yeah, I love that. And most recently, we worked with you on like a Future Birds project where you guys brought about like a free fan club to their shop. I feel like there's so much to maybe unpack in that. Like,
yeah.
how did you guys end up on Shopify and wanting to have a fan club there and also make it free?
Yeah. So I guess so Shopify, we've always used Shopify in some capacity, just for merch sales and running our merch partner uses Shopify. So it was just a very easy integration, for other things. So when we found out that there was this functionality that we could use to utilize kind of a fan club or something along those lines through Shopify, it was pretty plug and play and easy to do. So that was great. And then the idea behind the free aspect of the fan club really was like the band doesn't want to set up too many barriers, right? It's kind of
Yeah.
like a yes and policy. So, yes, we want you to come to shows, we want you to stream the music, we want you to have a good time. And if you also want to get deeper into
Totally.
certain aspects of the band or know more things about the band or get access to certain concert footage or whatever, we want you to be able to do that as well. Um, so obviously and we plan on in the future kind of utilizing that group that we had, for maybe other paid opportunities in the future. But just the ethos of the band is everyone is welcome, and so
I
we
love
didn't
that. Yeah.
necessarily want, um, yeah, we know we didn't want people to have to pay to be a part of a fan club,
Yeah,
so.
no, exactly. A bit more on like the Shopify side too. It's like you guys have had a merch store and then realizing that you could have a fan club there sounds like an easy plug and play. I know you've been using Single for a minute, but maybe for those that are like trying to figure out how to build first party relationships and connections, like what value does that unlock by maybe having like your merch store and your fan club in one place in terms of maybe being able to bring new people in who are just shopping or the data, like what was the motive or like ethos in that?
Yeah. So I mean, the first and easiest answer is that it's just easier to organize and it's just
Yeah.
easier. And when Future Birds does like a billion shows a year, like they're
Yeah.
very very busy. In addition to the recorded stuff, they're touring all the time. We have a lot of activations. They put on their own festival last year. That was actually part of the original kind of launch of Bird Fan, which is the fan club. So when you have a band that's doing a billion things at once, having everything in the same place so that you can like show them, hey, this is what it looks like, good to go. Okay, let's launch
Yeah.
it and get back. So you're not like they can't be on their computers all the time. They're
Yeah.
touring and things like that. Um, so that's first and foremost the easiest and the initial kind of reason why we did it. But then also having own data. So through the different having own data through different platforms can be difficult versus having it all under one umbrella.
Yeah.
So you can kind of utilize the data that you collected that we've already collected for Shopify through merch sales and through things like that, and then leverage it for a bird fam or for a fan club. And the fact that it's all in one house,
Hmm.
makes it a lot easier and just it makes it more efficient because when the band is doing a million things,
Yeah.
efficiency is going to be the most important thing.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome too that you could kind of set this up in the way that you would like a merch store. Like I think when you think about like a merch store, you're like, okay, it serves its purpose, and you maybe as an artist like don't have to think about it as much. But when you think about a fan club, there is like an aspect of needing to continually maintain it and cultivate it. But at the same time, you don't want that to overwhelm all the other things that you want to focus on.
Right.
So it's cool to see how not only plugged in, but like you've been able to build it in a way that has been able to kind of match what the band does already.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Tell me a bit more about you mentioned with like the launch strategy. What are some cool things that you've done there? I think I saw something with like a vinyl, and then you also had like a buy one get one. How does that play in?
Yeah. So the initial kind of thing that kind of prompted the conversations a couple months ago was Future Birds had their own festival that they curated
Hmm.
called Highball Festival in Atlanta. They're a Georgia-based band. Um, and we kind of wanted to figure out, okay, what's the best way to truly like engage, not only get more interest into the festival itself, but almost reward fans
Cool.
for allowing the band to get to a point where they could have their own festival, right?
That's awesome. Yeah.
Um, and so we were thinking a bunch of ideas, and we kind of thought, um, using a fan club activation as a part of it could help get fan data and then also reward fans who have been with them along the way. So we announced the festival, and then we were sneaky about it. We said, be on their email list, for something special. And then on the email list, it wasn't through social media, it was through the email list, so it had to be kind of at least one layer of
Yeah.
kind of fandom. And then they went to BirdFam, and then a part of it you got access to buy an exclusive vinyl, a specific color of Bloomin', which is one of their EPs. If you signed up, you got a free keychain if you went to the festival. So you had to go to the festival and get the free keychain, but you got an exclusive keychain that said BirdFam on it and had their logo. And then also we did an exclusive buy one get one for the festival, like buy one get one campaign for the festival exclusively through BirdFam. So
Cool.
the only way that you could get that deal was if you were a part of the fan club, essentially.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. And it's actually funny. I was just chatting with like the Sarah Evans team. They recently relaunched Sarah Evans Fan Club, and they also were talking about how having both their mailing list and Shopify's purchase data kind of enabled them to soft launch and kind of get people to do things first. So I think like going back to our point before, it almost like underscores the value of just like having all that in one ecosystem. And I know your website being on Shopify and having that mailing list kind of does that. But
Yeah.
maybe to like that point, would love to hear how you view like the mailing list separately and like a free fan club separately, because it's very common for artists to have like a sign up for the club and it's literally just a mailing list. Um,
Yeah.
how did like what does that mean for you guys in terms of how you view those things differently, and maybe also how they overlap? It sounds like there's a bit of it already.
Yeah, there's a bit of an overlap. I mean, we already had, with this band, we've already had a very healthy kind of email list
Hmm.
that's growing every day, and people are interested. Um, and we do a lot of yeah, pre-sales and things like that through the
Cool.
mailing list, and we just wanted to do kind of a level deeper. So I guess that the background too is if you go on BirdFam, you can get access to buy exclusive merch that only BirdFan members can get. And then you can get, for example, a keychain. There's certain activations that we do specifically through BirdFam, um, like a BOGO offer or a keychain or things like that. And then also you get access to concert footage, so exclusive
Cool.
streamed concert footage. And so that is we hypothetically we could put all those links and stuff on the mailing list, but to
Yeah.
us we wanted to make it kind of a deeper experience, somewhere that you could go where you don't have to wait for an email or go through your inbox to
You
find
could
that
get there.
footage. You can go to this, essentially a web page that has all the stuff you want in one place. But you do need to sign up. You need to be an active
Cool.
member in order to get there.
I like that. I like that a lot because I think like there's mailing lists, which is usually like come up and get a discount, which is how most people almost approach it too. to the second tier, which is like just join for free and you'll just get some more stuff. And then like if you ever did a premium, you have like all these different levels of fandom that are being catered to, and it's like doesn't matter if you want to spend like if you don't want that discount for like a mailing list, you don't have to sign up. You could just join the fan club and like vice versa. You could see who's a part of really everything. So
Yeah.
that's quite cool. How do you, so it kind of sounds like you have exclusive content there.
Mhm.
How do you kind of go about thinking about your content strategy in terms of like balancing reach with exclusives? Because I feel like today artists are so used to just like posting everything online.
Right.
But there is still value to whether or not it's exclusive, like doing maybe something early access. Like, how do you treat that?
Yeah. So I mean, the initial idea, at least for content, was just concert footage.
Hmm.
We're expanding kind of past that. Like you can get an exclusive like demo, like not the final song, but like a demo version of the song on Birdfan and stuff like that. Really, how we kind of think about it is like this is something that a true fan would want, like a not a casual fan,
Yeah.
not like a little bit deeper than you just follow them on Instagram and go to their show maybe once or twice. We want to cultivate like true like super fans, and so you kind of feed what a super fan would want, and
Yeah.
that's how we do it. So I mean, honestly, like people, we can put it up on YouTube, but people probably, unless you were a really deep fan of Future Birds, you probably wouldn't want to get a full, 2 hour concert video. But if you are, we want to
Yeah.
make sure that you're
That you can
served
have it.
properly.
Cool.
Exactly. So that's
I
how
love
we kind
that.
of, because
Yeah.
the guys post on social media all the time. They multiple times a day. They respond to DMs, they respond to comments and things like that, and that's great. But we also want to make sure um, that we do have a special type of content that only like true fans would really want to interact with and be a part of.
Cool. No, I love that. And it sounds like across the board, the band is like super authentic with how they engage. So I feel like that's really present in how they've crafted it with your help and just amongst themselves. Um, what are some things that they're excited by putting this out? I mean, it's now been I think just a couple months that this has been out, but like, what's kind of come of it in terms of like how the band thinks about fan activations? We talked a bit about like those conferences and things, but is there kind of more that's come in the pipeline because of this?
Um, I don't know about more in the pipeline. I mean, there's definitely I think just serving the fans is something that they're
Yeah.
excited about. In terms of like new opportunities for the band, I to be honest, like that wasn't the point of it. It wasn't
Hmm.
to get new opportunities and stuff like that. It was to, be a fans first kind of
Cool.
model. And, um, I mean, we're seeing like kind of a more, seeing one of the things like we're seeing more people sign up for a mailing list because that's the only way you can get to Bird Fam. I mean, that's definitely something. But other than that, um, it was kind of just built to serve the fans and,
Yeah.
create a community. So,
Cool. I love that. For anybody who's maybe like just starting out in this space, do you have any advice on how to go about thinking about either launching a fan club or maybe having like decision fatigue around all the different
yeah.
options and from perks to platform? Like, what do you suggest?
Um, I would say, well, first, don't force it,
Yeah.
right? Like, um, you'll kind of get to a point where you kind of know whether or not you need or want a fan club. Um, but also, keep it simple. Like if you're a manager or you're an artist yourself or you know digital manager or something like that, you know what the fan base is like and what they want,
Yeah.
generally, and just do the path at least at first when you're just setting it up. Do the path of least resistance. If you're a band that's known for touring out a lot and like maybe you're a jam band, there's a lot of like specific jams on a certain date or whatever. Serve that need. If you're a band with really cool merch designs and you know that your fans are really into your merch designs,
Yeah.
some exclusive merch designs on the fan page. You don't have to do all that much past that. If the band is like really into the songwriting, or if the fans are really into the songwriting of the band and things like that, if you put up exclusive demos to show the process of how the song
Yeah.
came, or something like that. I would say think of it as fans first. What do your fans want, and then what's the path of least resistance to making that experience the best as possible.
Yeah. That's great advice. I feel like every time we start talking about new artists and artist teams, there's definitely feeling of being overwhelmed in part because there are unlimited possibilities in terms of like
Right.
content and offerings and how do you actually structure this, especially if it's paid. You're like, I want to make sure that my fans who are supporting me are actually getting value from this,
Right.
but it's honestly just like doing more of what you're already doing in a way
Mhm.
that better serves your fans. So I think that's such a great point. um, yeah, any like final words? Like this has been a great chat, and I feel like anyone really thinking about a fan club will get a lot out of that. Any final words, or like how can people find you in the work that you're doing at Red Light?
Yeah. I you can follow me on Instagram if you want, Griffin Schwab. It's at _ Griffin Schwab. My Instagram avatar is a cartoon, so that's not actually me. Uh, but yeah. In terms of I don't know. I think a lot of when you're talking about serving the fans, if you have to think about something too hard, it's probably not the right direction. You
Yeah,
know, that I truly believe that. Obviously, like coming up with a really cool marketing idea or like unique kind of activation is always great if it works. But most of the time, at least in my experience, the things that are most effective are the things that are the easiest to put together.
yeah, totally,
Because if you're
totally.
trying too hard, there's kind of a reason why it feels hard and difficult.
Yeah,
Versus just putting concert footage. Put up concert footage and merch and a keychain. Great,
yeah,
easy.
I
I don't.
totally agree. Yeah,
So that's kind of what I would say for the most part. I mean, there might be some
yeah,
exceptions where this convoluted idea ends up working, but for the most part, the
yeah,
path of least resistance is usually for this type of thing the correct path, in my opinion.
yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense, and it's also just the easiest way to get started, but also the easiest way to maintain it. Like it has to be you, it
Exactly.
has to be authentic. So
And
if
you have
you're
to
like,
think about maintaining it as well. Exactly. So if it's
yeah,
it's a super complicated thing, that's great, but like in 4 months, and especially if it's paid, if your fans are paying $10 a month or whatever, or $5 a month to be part of this fan club, and it's a super complicated thing, in 4 months, do you still want to keep it up?
yeah,
Maybe not.
probably not. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Completely agree. Yeah. Well, I love the work that you've been doing with the band, and I definitely think it serves like as an awesome model of bands that maybe have a mailing list already and want to level up or like or just looking to turbocharge their mailing list in some way. So I think that's really really awesome how you kind of frame that as like another layer. So yeah, thanks for this chat.
Of
I'm
course.
sure
Thank
we'll keep chatting at it, and yeah, I think that's it for us.
you. All right. Thank you.
Cool. All right, bye Griffin.